Today is Tuesday, June 24th. This is an overdue market update, and there's a lot of good stuff going on. So let's take a quick look at the charts. I'm going to start with stocks because there's actually been a lot more exciting news with stocks as opposed to futures trading, at least on my end lately. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the S&P, which is getting near testing all-time highs. We are really moments away from being back to new S&P highs. So very interesting. Market has done a direct V-shaped recovery. Keep in mind, did a video, I believe one of the last videos we did, first we falsely predicted that we would just rip through to all-time highs. We had this big sell-off on the tariff news, and then we had this massive V-shaped recovery. I'm going to just get rid of the momentum indicator here, and I want to point out I've got a couple lines that I've drawn here, and these were really going to be additional thresholds for adding more in VTI, which is the total stock market ETF. It tracks the S&P 500 and then some, I believe, international and emerging exposure. When I looked at this chart, and I believe this is on a previous video that you can go back to and look at, I drew a line, a horizontal line, and I said 2021 we were at these prices, and when the market did this V bottom, we broke below the 2021 prices, and I actually placed a number, and again, keep in mind, these are not large positions by any means. You have to adjust for risk and risk exposure, and we had a couple more legs down that we were potentially gearing up for. But we did tag the first leg, and what I did is I had market orders in to buy VTI at 238, and then I was planning on doubling on a move down to 229, 213, and then in an insane scenario at 180, we would be adding our final leg here for a long-term buy and hold. Now, I want to take the ruler here and just show, we corrected 22% in a matter of 39 bars, right? Like a little over a month, we corrected that much. And I said we bought at 238. We're up right now 26% on that move from low to high. I told a lot of people it's time to buy. You don't have to go all in here, but man, if you're going to correct 4 years of market exposure, you're going to go back to October 2021. You're going to just erase all of this. How many candles, how many days are we talking here? We're going to go back and erase the last 4 years, 1,259 days. You're going to get an opportunity to buy the market that's reversed 1,259 days of moving up. You're crazy if you don't buy that. Markets trend up. And same thing on the NASDAQ. We're getting pretty close to all-time highs here. I'll fix this chart. I don't know what is going on there. That is an interesting chart that is not going to load correct here. Interesting. We'll go ahead and skip NASDAQ. We're near all-time highs on NASDAQ as well. I don't know what's going on with TradingView there. And then the futures market we'll touch on in a second here. I guess main thing to touch on for now is if we look at the commitment of traders reports, speculators are still selling. Large specs who are blue and small specs, the yellow versus commercials, red, these guys are selling. They're continuing to sell into this move higher to all-time highs. We've seen this on the S&P, which I'm long in futures. We've seen this on the Russell. We've seen it on the NASDAQ. And we're seeing it less on the Dow. The Dow is actually flipping closer to a sell. We're seeing it really on all risk-on assets. Ethereum is showing close to a buy, or Bitcoin and then Ethereum, both looking relatively good from a commitment to trader standpoint for following the commercials and fading the speculators, the hedge funds, the money managers who are trend followers that, they get overcrowded on the wrong side, and that's really what we've seen here throughout this entire move. We've been set up since back in April at the lows, and we've just gone up, and these guys have continued to sell. Keep in mind this is indexed, so these guys have just historically been selling this entire move up. At some point, shorts will have to cover and we get squeezed higher. That's really the only thing I can comprehend is happening. And then the only other futures position that's been interesting is the yen, which is having a pretty bad day after like a V recovery, a little bounce off the bottom here, but we're still in a channel. I'm short the yen, so the yen is basically inverse US dollar. I like the setup. I am in a small profit here after today's correction. We were in a nice profit on that candle yesterday, but it is what it is. We just stay in, we swing trade it. If it gets to our profit targets or this goes neutral, then we get out. If it hits our stop, we're out. We take a small loss, we move on. So I want to highlight the stock stuff though, because this has been actually really interesting lately. And I'm going to jump over to these stocks. These are some stocks that I'm actively holding and managing for a couple of different systems. Some are just buying dips for strong fundamental companies, and others are more a momentum buy, momentum trade, which is indicated by this green oval that I've actually thrown on the charts. Micron, we're in back at like $80. We're up to 127. We're on another really high mover day, and I've actually got a limit order. We got earnings tomorrow. I am planning on taking some profit here, but Micron we can probably expect to continue higher. Apple, I am also in. We're in kind of this like triangle, this descending triangle, which I think Apple's just been overdone on the sell-off, and it's just started to bottom out here. We're seeing that it's making lower or higher lows, which is a bullish indicator. First profit target is just at these resistance levels around 220, and then we'll probably hold a runner. If we break out, I could see us testing back to 245. AMD's been a huge winner, and I've highlighted this one multiple times. We're buying options down at 110, and we're now up to 138. I sold today one of our first profit targets near 140. I expect this thing to get somewhere up to 150 to 170 as far as another profit target. MSTR, I'm in on a momentum indicator. Good day today, but we're in the red on it. Coinbase, huge move. I've got more profit I'm going to take off the table if we get, will probably even happen on this call when we get to 344 and change. Take a little bit more profit here. Now, to me, this is profit taking time, right? For certain key assets that have moved up significantly, it's time to take some profits off the table, reduce risk, and start to get more broad exposure, balance the portfolio, get some more GLD, gold, get some more TLT, the 20-year treasury bonds, or the 20-year treasury. To me, it's time to rebalance, and I'm also moving strategically into some cash positions for more personal lifestyle stuff that's going on. So I am selling at profit targets. I've got, out of all these positions, I'm hoping to reduce or close over the next couple of months. So Baidu, we're in some option plays. That is right, just slightly in the money here. I think China's been a little bit too oversold, and I would like to really sell here on any news of a trade agreement with China. Rocket Lab making new all-time highs, momentum indicator flag for me yesterday. We've been moving up pretty nicely since. TSM, we've been in since like the lows here, closer to the V shape, not the direct bottom here by any means, but I think around 170 we got in. I've actually taken some profit here, and I probably need to remove this off the chart. Forward momentum we took. Our momentum system shows that we win more than 50% of the time if we take the signal on forward, and we typically can get a 2 or 3x risk to reward, or win versus loss ratio. LMND is another one. It's having a bad day today, but momentum indicated. Lulu, I'm actually looking to add. I think Lulu's been overdone on this like massive gap down, and then like multiple candles of just red here. I mean, it's such a small position I'm in. I've taken profits of this. I mean, none of these positions are very large, honestly, compared to my overall portfolio. It's about reducing risk exposure. AMD gets a little big because we've got multiple options that have really taken off, and they're up 80-90%. Same thing with Micron. That's where I take profit and we rebalance. Lulu, I think it's time to be doing a little bit of buying here, especially on the 1, 2, 3. We've got like 8 or 9 red candles and then a doji, or this little reversal candle. It's really, it's a reversal candle that looks like this could turn bullish, at least up to a gap fill potentially down the road. I want to buy some Lulu here. NCLH is a Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. We are in on some options. It had a nice gap up today as well. Let's get some good support here on this line. Pfizer and Moderna, I feel like, are making a bit of a bottom here. Pfizer's in this, like, again, triangle pattern that it's looking to break out of. Moderna in this like falling wedge pattern that is looking to break out. I think these stocks are overdone on falling and collapsing just with the general sort of healthcare and vaccine industry. I think there's some good moves here, some good risk to reward. We don't know if it's going to go up, but I think there's some good risk to reward. And we're making higher lows on Pfizer. I mean, bottom, higher low, higher low, higher low, and heading up into this wedge pattern. And then same thing in the Moderna, right? I mean, we've got a low, we've got, if we zoom in on this chart, a low, a higher low, higher low. Are we going to go through resistance now? Potentially. Redfin, another momentum, and then XYZ also making an interesting kind of triangle wedge attempted breakout here, which could really send this thing up to my profit targets of 75 to 85. So that is the stock play. That's the stocks I'm looking at. I'm also looking to reduce exposure on Tesla, which I took some profit yesterday at 355 just to reduce overall exposure. Also closed an option position that I was in for a quick momentum trade. Very small profit. We're talking $1,000. I mean, these trades are not monstrous trades, but I am in a large position that I want to reduce of Tesla. And then as far as futures trades, what we're looking at, I'm in long on gold per momentum indicator, which looks like it's probably going to flip red if we don't have much of a reversal over the next day or two. I'm watching coffee as a setup to go long. I'm watching the lean hogs to go short. I'm watching S&P and the Russell, which I believe we're probably going to make all-time highs today on the S&P, but I'm in per momentum from a futures trading perspective. I'm in on the Russell per futures trading perspective. And from if we look at the COT data, the commitment of traders, I'm actually in on both systems. We're in long to go per momentum. We're in long to go because of commitment of trader setup. So we're in on both those positions here. The S&P and then the Russell. Russell still got some good room to recover here, but yeah, we'll continue to watch that closely. It's up 1.2 today, as well as the S&P. I'm watching the Canadian dollar as a short. Swiss franc is a short. They're both set up. The yen, we're in the short, which is still in some profit, and then the British pound, which is also signaling a short. So you could either be long dollar here or you could be short one of these currencies. I think that could be a good play overall, but that's what we're sort of looking at here. I am in profit-taking mode. We're up 25% from the bottom in March where we were adding and accumulating positions and taking a little bit of even some leverage. So things are good. Market's looking good. Things can change tomorrow. I'm not going to pretend or speculate that I know where it's going, but we are testing all-time highs, and you cannot fight the tape. If you think all the bearish news and war and multiple wars, really, if you think and tariffs and inflation, if you think those things are bearish, that's fine. You can think that. It makes sense logically, but you can't fight the tape. And the tape says we're going up, then we're continuing to head higher. So I hope that helps. We'll talk again soon, and thanks for listening.